Shedeur represents everything that I dislike about the NFL draft, and it's only one thing, and it's narratives, and it's narratives built up that are lazy and, quite frankly, trash. When you come out as an anonymous source about some meeting that you had and you don't think that some kid measured up to what you wanted him to be when he walked in your room, I think that that's trash.
Joel said it best. It's the narratives. It's the narratives and the politics that have gone into why Shedeur was not drafted in the first round. Welcome to another episode of Heritage Sports Podcast. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe, and please turn on that notification bell if you could really help this channel. I want to talk about the story of the night, the NFL draft, and who slid in the NFL draft, which is Shedeur Sanders. If you don't know, he did not get drafted by an NFL team in the first 32 picks, so he goes to the second round. I think it's completely unfortunate because not only are his numbers there, you turn on the tape, the kid can play, he can read offenses, he comes from a great football family, and he knows what it takes to run a franchise. I definitely think he was good enough to be a first round draft pick. Now, for the people out there saying, well, he's really good, but he's not great, I can understand that. But there were only so many great athletes in this draft, and you count them on one hand. You know, you want to talk about Travis Hunter, of course. I think we don't talk about him enough. You talk about Abdul Carter, freakish athlete. You talk about Joel Klatt, who hasn't given up a sack in his career, I believe, at LSU. I get it. So for there, I understand why he wasn't a top 5 pick. And if you saw some of the tea leaves throughout the last few weeks, I think they got wind that he would not be a top 5 pick, and that's why you started seeing more and more, just language towards either Shedeur or Coach Prime talking about teams picking later on in the draft. Coach Prime started talking about how he likes the colors, these specific colors. He was talking about the Saints or the Steelers. And then Shedeur went on to say, hey, I don't mind, if I would be throwing to DK Metcalf or George Pickens in Pittsburgh. So many people had to have checked in with them, and they kind of knew what was going on. They had the party set up in Colorado as far as the draft party. They moved it to Dallas, more of a family thing, and everything happened and transpired the way it did. So I had an indication feeling thought they would be taken in a later round, in the later part of the first round. I didn't anticipate this. So let's just start here. What the Pittsburgh Steelers did to me are doing right now with the quarterbacks on their roster is malpractice. Unless you have a trade for Kirk Cousins, you don't operate this way. I don't know if they'll get whoever in the later rounds, but to go into the draft and not invest in a pick when you do not have a NFL starting quarterback on your roster right now is egregious. You also add in that you are banking on Aaron Rodgers, who can sign anywhere. So you could literally be up shit's creek if you do not get a NFL starting caliber quarterback. And that's not good because they have a really good team. They have a talented team like they always do. So that's unfortunate. How they passed on Shedeur at 21, he falls to you, I don't understand. You talk about the Giants who come back into the first round later on to select Jackson Dart. I'm a Jackson Dart fan. I've watched the SEC all throughout my life. I've seen Ole Miss games. The kid can actually play. I can 100% agree with you. But you want to talk about who is pro ready in comparison? It is Shedeur. I don't think Jackson Dart has a higher ceiling than Shedeur, but it is what it is. They come in and they draft Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, which, if you know the New York Giants MO, which is damn near 100-year legacy NFL team, they've never drafted a black quarterback in the first round. I don't know if they've ever drafted a black quarterback. And if you want to look into it even more, go ahead and hit Google. I'm not going to go into it too much more, but their first starting black quarterback for their team was by the name of Geno Smith. And Geno Smith is still playing in the NFL. Now, they've gotten a little better. They brought in Russell Wilson. They brought in Jameis Winston. But their quarterback of the future is a quarterback from Ole Miss. Now, I want to bring up Geno Smith because his situation reminds me so much of Shedeur. Now, if you go back into his draft, the 2013 draft, when he got on, he was one of the first signings of Jay-Z. He was in Rock Nation. there were so many people that ruffled their feathers that he was a confident black man being represented by another confident black man making a splash in the sports world. And he came from West Virginia, another 3 or 4 year quarterback at West Virginia that lit it up. He's a Miami kid that went to West Virginia and absolutely lit it up. All the numbers in the world had enough to be a first round pick, and he slid to the second round. And you add in who his dad is for Shedeur, you have all these numbers, you have all this good tape that you have on him, knowing he can be a franchise leader, and he slides to the second round. Why? I believe it has everything to do with the politics and the narratives, the trash takes that he's entitled, which is, if you don't know the kid, how do you say he's entitled from a 20-minute interview? You can say you didn't like it, whatever the case may be, but I feel that these scouts that are with these teams for a long time, or in the NFL a long time, because scouts are a long time, they go from team to team or they stay with one team. They remember their experiences from 20, 30 years ago, where this confident, borderline arrogant to them cornerback and wide receiver would make them pay every Sunday or Saturday or Monday or whatever the case may be. And this was the perfect time to get back at that. This is the perfect time when a black man who just got a $54 million contract became one of the top 5 highest paid college football coaches, period, bar none. Just got that contract. This seems to be a little bit of a oh no, we're gonna take something away from you right here. And that's how I feel about it. And the evidence to me is there. So let's look at some of the numbers. You look at Shedeur Sanders, who was the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, has 50 career starts, super comfortable in the pocket, even though he had a terrible offensive lines throughout his career. He had over 14,000 career yards, 134 career touchdowns compared to 27 career interceptions. That's a fantastic ratio. But either way, you cut on the tape, the kid can absolutely ball. He can make the throws. If you say, hey, I don't like the way he holds the ball or he's waiting on something, again, I get that. But to say that he wasn't the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft is ridiculous. Now, if you look at the order of the draft, Cleveland has the first draft pick of the second round. Cleveland can definitely take him. And listen, I understand when you get picked 33 or 34 overall, it's really like you're getting picked in the first round. But I get it. You want to be in the first round. But we'll see how tomorrow goes. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Heritage Sports, I really appreciate it. Please turn on those notifications.